All right, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the Trump rally that he had at Madison Square Garden yesterday. That was on Sunday, the 27th of October. Definitely a lot of things going on here. This event was gigantic. I don't know if any of you caught it, on TV, but um, it was a massive, massive rally, probably the biggest he's ever held, as far as I can tell, which is really incredible for a couple different reasons. One of them being that um, he hasn't lost steam over the years. A lot of politicians, especially or celebrities or whatever, fame and things like that tend to dwindle over time, right? You're never going to be the same level of successful or as big and popular to the public as you are at your peak. That just won't carry on forever, right? But there's clearly a shift happening here in America today. And it definitely started 10 years ago when Trump, and I can't believe to say that now, it's basically 10 years ago because he started, he made his announcement, I believe when he came down the escalator was like the end of November 2015. And we're just a couple of months away of 2025. So he's been doing this for just about 10 full years now. Um, which is amazing to say in itself that whole journey has gone that quickly. And we've been, talk about this guy, you know, um, is like probably the best marketer ever. Um, he's gotten 10 straight years of attention from people. And he was always famous. He was always a well-known guy, but he wasn't always the top talking point in the media. I mean, you know, whether or not he's a media hound, somebody who really truly loves attention, all eyes to be on him 24/7, to be able to get people to talk about you for almost 10 straight years, just about every day, is unheard of. No one has had that level of fame probably ever in history. Um, but one of the most amazing things that I've seen about that rally was he hasn't lost steam. He's actually picked it up. So I've been seeing the rallies we all have since 2016 when he started doing them. And first of all, that is an amazing, marketing tactic. Like he truly is a marketing. You could say what you want about him in terms of how he is as a president, how his demeanor is as a man. But one thing you can't say is that he's not an expert marketer. He is unbelievable when it comes to, marketing, advertising, and things like that. And you've seen that with his rallies. His rallies were brilliant. I mean, he basically made like he took like the elements of um a concert and a conference, a big event that people would go to, maybe for like a business expo or something. And he combined many different elements from that and turned it into a political event that people go to hear politicians speak about, basically just their policies. But he talks about so many more things. He combined so many elements from these major, massive events and put them into his rallies. And his rallies have been going strong since 2016, so for a very long time now. And over time, you would think people would hear your message and hear what you have to say, and eventually, they kind of feel they've heard it all. This actually happens with influencers too online. They are doing well for a while and they're on a streak and people are following them. And then a couple of years goes by and they're old news and somebody else is the new hot topic. So their numbers start to stagnate. That does happen. It's very hard to keep that same momentum going, but his rallies have picked up steam over the years. And I think he said, but I think also the numbers might have dictated that there was probably around 200,000 people total at that rally. So everybody in Madison Square Garden and then everybody outside who was waiting to get in, um, it was probably somewhere around 200,000 people. Might not have been exactly that. Could have been 175 or something. Who knows? But it was around that number. And I don't really know how they get the number from the outside people. Maybe just people who accept it online. The ticket for the event. But you can definitely get those numbers for the people inside Madison Square Garden because there are so many seats and they let everybody in the door. So they definitely count and check each person that comes in, especially the security team has to take count of everybody who's in the building for fire life safety reasons. So, um, you know, there definitely was well over 100,000 people at this event, but it might have been closer to 200,000 total. And that's amazing. That is unbelievable. That's probably his biggest rally ever. But it might have also broken records for Madison Square Garden because they've had, packed out, sold out, the Madison Square Garden events in the past. Comedians have done it, musicians, bands have done it, and they've sold out multiple nights in a row. But to have that much overflow outside, that might have been a record for one night for Madison Square Garden in its history. I have no idea. I'd have to look more into those numbers, but um, it's unbelievable that he's gone for about 10 straight years, a little less because he really started doing rallies in 2016. Um, but we're over 8 years here, and his rallies are getting bigger and stronger, and more people are joining the quote unquote MAGA movement. So that alone is unprecedented and unbelievable. But another thing I found really interesting was that he was able to bring so many people together in this movement and in these rallies, but especially this Madison Square Garden one. I mean, this was like a concert mixed with a wrestling event, um, you know, tied in, but then with sprinkled with a little bit of politics. It was like an unbelievably massive event. Um, and if you've seen the videos online, you've seen that it was a packed out stadium. But the people that were there was really interesting. You did have politicians, obviously, senators and people like that. Giuliani, I think, was there also. But you had other people. You had comedians. I think Tony Hinchcliffe was there. You had Tulsi Gabbard, who was once a Democrat politician. Not only was she, a registered Democrat voter, she was a Democrat politician. Um, so she was with the Democrat Party. She worked with those people. And she just recently switched over to become a Republican because of Donald Trump. And she basically said that when she spoke at his rally, not this one, I think a previous one. Um, but, uh, between that, RFK, who was also a Democrat, lifelong Democrat, his, you know, uncle and his father, massive members in the Democrat Party. I mean, they're iconic. They go down in Democrat history, especially JFK. Um, so to leave that party and then join the Trump movement is unbelievable. I think RFK Jr. is still an independent at this point, but um, anything's possible. Anything's possible. He could be joining the Republican Party too. Who knows? But he has since left that party, became an independent, and endorsed Trump, and now he's joining him and his campaign to do this whole health movement, try and make America healthy again, which is great. America needs that. Our obesity numbers are catastrophic. I think we're the most obese country in probably world history, because you know you could look back in history and see that there were obese people, but they were mostly people who had money. They could afford to, eat and be gluttonous, right? Only in America, mostly America, do you get even poor people who are fat. Poor people are obese in America, which is unbelievable. And a lot of it has to do with the quality of the food that we eat, but the fact that we're living so luxuriously, even the poor people in America are living in a way where it's better than some of the middle class people in other countries, um, especially many countries in the continent of Africa and other parts of the world. There are a lot of people who have to literally get clean water every day. They're part of their daily routine is to go and get clean water just to be able to survive and live another day. Americans don't really understand like our poverty. Yeah, we're poor compared to the rest of the country. If you're rich or wealthy like a billionaire, but to the rest of the world, we're considered rich to them. Even the poor people, even the people working paycheck to paycheck and eating fast food because they can't afford groceries from certain supermarkets, or they just they need to find a cheaper way to feed their family, whatever it is. They are still doing better than many poor people in the world. But America definitely does need to be made healthy again because we do have a health issue, a health crisis in this country. A lot of people are unhealthy and have been for a very long time now. It's going on since at least, the late 80s, where it's become like a national thing. But many decades now that this country has been unhealthy. So that's another great thing. But he got RFK, and then more recently, Elon Musk to join the movement. And Elon Musk, I mean, I think at this point, I have to check Forbes and some other sites, but I think he's still number one for richest person in the world. So you've got the world's richest person who is a foreigner, by the way. He was born in South Africa, I believe, came to America, pursued the American dream, was actually successful at it, built many multi-billion-dollar companies with PayPal originally, SpaceX, and some of the other projects that he's working on, Tesla, things like that. So, he's become super, super successful. He's really attained the American dream. His Donald Trump's wife, Melania, is a foreigner. Um, a lot of these people, Tulsi Gabbard, I think, born and raised in Hawaii, which is America, but it's not the continental United States. It's Hawaii, so it's it's still America, but it's just they're not part of like the continental landmass that is America, the country. Um, you have people like that all across the board, all different walks of life are part of the MAGA movement and the Trump campaign to get him elected. So to see that is unbelievable. And it was a massive event. And, with the other side, you do see the Democrats also have celebrities join them, but it's really for helping get Kamala elected so that they can continue to pursue what they're trying to do with this country and changing its governing system from a constitutional republic to a socialist and then eventually communist nation. Um, which is clear, and it's not even a conspiracy. It's clear in their beliefs and the things that they promote. If you compare what they promote, their policies, um, all that stuff with socialistic doctrine from previous socialist countries, or communist countries, or even Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto, many of those things align with what the Democrat Party believes and their policies. So it's not a conspiracy. This is what they believe. And they so much call themselves that. Even Bernie Sanders and some of the other Democrat politicians call themselves democratic socialists. Well, a socialist is one thing. There's no changing that. They believe in one way of governing, and it's contradictory to our constitutional republic. So it is a completely different governing system. Um, and if the Democrats get Kamala in and the people vote her in, and this election she actually wins, you will see socialism and communism elements of both come to America like you've never seen before. It will be the most amount of measures taken to change this nation to a communist country in American history. It will basically be the end of the constitutional republic. But back to the event, it really is amazing to see all these people come together, and they are choosing to be there. They don't have to be there. No one's making them. In fact, it's hurting their reputation to be there. It's not like when Beyonce goes to a Kamala rally and she joins forces with them. Everybody kind of assumes all the celebrities are Democrats, by default. So when you find that they're not, it's a shock. But um, when you see her go there, it doesn't hurt her credibility, her reputation, because you already assume that they're going to vote Democrat. But you also see them hanging out and mingling with these people on the news and stuff like that. So you kind of already know. Not to mention a lot of them come out and bash Trump. So everybody already knows it's not going to hurt their reputation to endorse Kamala. But a lot of these people that are endorsing Trump, it's hurting them in the sense that the machine is coming after them now. So a lot of them, for them to be there, they genuinely want to be there. They're there because they truly believe that this may be the last chance that we have a free and fair election and continue the constitutional republic in this nation, and maybe even fix a lot of the damage that these people have done. So they're there by choice. A lot of the other people that go to the Democrat events are not always there by choice. They're there by obligation. So there is a difference. But I just want to take a look at some of these clips and highlights from yesterday's event just to get a better idea as to what that event looked like. and see what some of the speakers had to say, because there really was a diverse crowd of people there. It's actually funny, like the Democrats always promote that they're the party of the diversity and all that stuff, but I've never seen more diverse groups of people than at Trump events. I mean, all walks of life go to those events and speak and support him. Really, honestly, everybody from politicians to Hulk Hogan, a wrestler, Dana White, the CEO of the UFC. Um, like I said, many different people. Sometimes he has the average American speak at these events. It could be somebody just telling their personal story, who maybe works in a city job and they're giving their, take on that, what's going on with their job and the Democrat politics that are negatively impacting it. Or, it could be somebody who lost a loved one due to the illegal immigrants that are coming into the country and they speak at the event. I mean, there's been all types of people who have spoken at these events. If you've never gone, this may be one of your last chances to go. He does have a few more rallies, I think, lined up for the rest of the week and a half that he's still running, leading up to the election, which is in about a week and a half. So, it's definitely an experience, even if you're not a Trump supporter, just to go and see an event this large and this crazy, to see so many different types of people at these events, all walks of life. It really is quite an experience. But if you can't go, let's just take a look at some of these clips and get an idea as to what went on there, because it really was quite interesting.
Madison Square Garden, how we feeling, huh? Wow, isn't this special? 17 years ago, I was sleeping in my car behind the Comedy Store in LA, and I'm proud to say this is my 4th time performing at Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the damn world. The American dream alive and well right here. This is very different than where I'm used to performing, though. I'm used to nighttime with people drinking, not so many babies in the crowd, and people that are obviously only here for Lee Greenwood tonight. Normally, I don't make my political beliefs a known thing. It's divisive for a comedian to do that, but just know I sleep well at night knowing who I'm voting for. Yeah. When I lay down and my head hits my pillow.
Pennsylvania. As a son, I've never been more proud of what my father's accomplished, both while he was in office and, frankly, everything he's endured.
It is a fantastic pillow, by the way. I was staying at the Four Seasons up by Central Park one night, and I laid my head down, and it felt so good, and I thought to myself, what an amazing pillow. I have a little bit of money now. I could buy a good pillow. And I took the pillowcase off, and there it was. My pillow, my pillow, my pillow. And damn it, I bought 4 of them. And if you use the promo code KillTony, you can also buy 4 My Pillows. There's serious stuff happening, people. I live in the great state of Texas now. 18 years in Ohio, 20 years in California, and I got to see California turn to absolute horrendous thing. And traveling the world, I got to see San Francisco turn into one of the most demented cities, one of the greatest downfalls I've ever seen. And that is where the other candidate worked for 2 decades. And it's absolutely wild to see. And in Texas, stuff is really, really crazy. We're right there by a wide open border. Where are my proud Latinos at tonight? You guys see what I mean? It's wide open. There's so many of them. It's absolutely incredible. Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this. It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country. Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor. Free speech is under attack, people. I host a show, and each week I get updates what words we're allowed to use and not use anymore. It's happening right now the past few years. It's a real thing. And, used to be able to tell people to Google stuff. My mom's a boomer in the state of Ohio, and there's no convincing her of anything. She's eating the cats. She's eating the dogs. They're eating the pets up there. It is absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody. This isn't exactly a perfect comedy setup. There's some people here. All right. Very good. I like it. I have other policies that I think it should be implemented as well. Like me personally, I think football should be all year round. Yeah. So many great athletes. I don't know about you guys, but I think that Travis Kelce might be the next O.J. Simpson. Feels good in here. The other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Oh, okay. Okay, that's what you guys want. All right. Heck yeah. It's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome. You guys this is a groany little morning crowd, huh? It's tough to follow this audition for the next Commissioner Gordon's over here. It is, though. It's crazy times we're living in. I mean, all these pointless wars. It is unbelievable what's happening right now. It is incredible. Ukraine versus Russia, Israel, it's like bad soccer games. Who even cares? What are we doing? Why is our money involved in these wars? When it comes to Israel and Palestine, we're all thinking the same thing. Settle your stuff already. Best out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors. You know the Palestinians are going to throw rock every time. But you also know the Jews have a hard time throwing that paper. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're having fun now. We're cooking. Hillary Clinton said that this is a Nazi rally here today. Can you believe that? For the most anti-war president of my entire lifetime, and she calls him Hitler. Let me remind you, Hillary, it was your husband who shot innocent people, or as he called them, interns. Yeah, Hillary, I bet you did not see that one coming. By the way, if I commit suicide in 3 weeks, I didn't. I mean, it's just obvious to me who the right candidate is. There's a guy out here dodging bullets. It is unbelievable, right? He took it right in the ear. Unbelievable. I thought about this. I don't know if you have. Coolest place to get shot. Like if you're gonna get shot anywhere on your body, that's where you want it. Right there. Technically, he got shot in the head, depending on if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Right? If you're a Democrat, his ear was grazed. If you're a Republican, he survived the headshot. It is. It's the best place to get shot. It's the only part of the human body will drive a piercing through like a little girl's ear for no reason, right? There's just no, it heals fast. Nobody cares. It's the best place to get shot. He went down, saw blood on his hands. I'd imagine he thought right then, I think I just won this shit. Stands up and says the most American words I've ever heard in my life. No. Before that, there was one more. Let me get my shoes. Fearless. Perhaps still with an active shooter. He's talking like a guy that just had the best one-night stand of his life. Right? Like, where's my shoes at? I gotta get the hell out of here. Let me get my shoes. And then the fight. What he did was so cool that Biden got COVID. Oh, yeah. Go back. Look at the timeline of everything again. 3 days after that. That means that Biden, he didn't get that from hanging out with sick people. He was in a sterile room in the White House watching blood running down Trump's face as he pumps his fist. Biden's like, oh, fuck. Oh, God, no. It's true. Trump survived an assassination attempt and Biden got COVID. We vote next week. God voted 3 months ago. Another great Austin, Texas resident, Elon Musk, will be speaking here later today. Unbelievable. Genius. You guys saw him shoot that rocket into outer space, the largest aircraft ever, fires it off into space, and then parallel parks it back to planet Earth. Meanwhile, Kamala supporters can't parallel park their Toyota Priuses properly. Sorry, I listen to Elon Musk. I follow his lead. The world's smartest, richest man has my attention. Except for when it comes to stock trading, then I listen to Nancy Pelosi. But censorship is amongst us, people. It's a very, very, very big deal. And I'm just here to say that you guys are for the right candidate. Tell your friends. Let's close it out. And let's make speech free again. Make America healthy again. Let's beat the team from California. The team from New York should beat the team from California, not only in this election, but in the World Series of Baseball, America's sport. I love you, New York. God bless New York. God bless America. Let's make it great again. I love you. Thank you. Welcome.
All right, that was pretty funny. I wanted to start with that clip because I thought we would start on like a lighter note. And it's not every day that you see a comedian do stand up at a Trump rally or any political event. Where they're actually, actively campaigning. But that's one thing I got to say about Trump. At this event, he had Tony Hinchcliffe do comedy, which some of his comedy was definitely not geared towards families. And I know that there were definitely a lot of families there. There were probably some people who he even said there was children in the audience. So some of the dirty jokes didn't really land for me and probably some of the people in the audience, because you did hear every once in a while people weren't that into it, and he even commented on it. That type of stuff probably not best for a political campaign rally, especially at like a big event like this that's on all different news networks and stuff. But other than that, I think he was really funny. He did a great job, and you got to give Trump a lot of credit. He as some people have handlers and people set up their things and you just they go with it. Trump's not that type of guy, and many people who have worked with him have said that he has his hands in everything. He makes sure that he is going to approve of these things that go on. If he's going on a podcast, he wants to know about those people. He wants to know what type of audience they have. When he does these events, I think somebody even said that he picks a lot of the music for the event. So, maybe not the music that these guests come out to, maybe they pick their own song, but the stuff that he sets up, he's involved with these rallies, he's involved with all these events, and he is kind of the one who is managing and overseeing it. I'm sure he has a lot of people make decisions for him, but I'm also probably sure that a lot of the final say goes through to him. So I'm sure he knew who all the guest speakers were going to be and either approves them or denies them. He had this comedian do comedy. He had Hulk Hogan do like his old Hulkamania bit that he used to do. Um, he has so many people speak at these things, and especially this Madison Square Garden one. It's such a wide range of people, so it's like amazing. It's like this huge mega event. I mean, it really is unbelievable that he lets all these people do this and join his team, and he really knows, like I said, marketing. He knows how to speak to each audience member. Some people, they really just like comedy, and to have that guy there maybe brought them in, or maybe people who are really big fans of Tony's but are not Republicans would have watched him at the rally just because they were curious to see what he had to say. Same thing for people who love wrestling. There's a lot of people who are conservative who like wrestling, but there's also a lot of Democrat voters who like wrestling and grew up with Hulk Hogan. And the fact that he was at this rally and the previous event, the Republican convention, maybe they say, wow, I mean, my, hero Hulk Hogan is speaking at this event. Maybe I should just at least hear what he has to say. Even if I don't agree with him, let me just at least hear it. So he's smart in that way of getting all these different types of people to, speak at his events. And to have this wide range of guest speakers, it's unbelievable. But he really did have quite a lineup. He had this comedian, like I said, Tony Hinchcliffe. He had Hulk Hogan. He had Elon Musk. He had both of his sons, Don Jr. and Eric, speak. He had Giuliani. Many politicians. He had a lot of people, and it was really quite unbelievable to hear. So we're going to look a little bit, maybe at one more of these just to get a better idea of the event. But as you can see, it was massive, full packed out stadium. And it was, just a gigantic event. But let's look at one more.
Well, you guys look just like you do when I'm on TV. Except for you, you look a little different. Listen, I love you guys for caring enough about the United States of America to come out here tonight. Thank you so much for caring enough to come out here tonight. I have to tell you, I love this country. I do. I love this country. I stand up when our flag goes by. I put my hand over my heart when they play our national anthem. And I'm so proud to see so many people take time out of their day to come out here and stand up for this country. And strangely enough, I'm not here just to stand up for Donald J. Trump. Lord knows he doesn't need me to stand up for him. He's tough as an old army boot. He's got lots of enemies, different groups that are scared, and between them, they have impeached him, indicted him, raided him, railroaded him, shot him, and sued him. And where is he? He is still standing. He just keeps on coming because he loves this country too. I can be honest and say I can be honest because we have free speech in America. I can be honest and say I don't like or agree everything that Donald J. Trump does or says. I mean, come on. Nobody agrees with everything or likes everything somebody else says or does, right? No human is perfect. We don't strive for perfection. We strive for excellence. But you don't have to love everything about someone in order to love them. And the last thing he needs is some celebrity endorsement. What the hell do I know? I know I'm no celebrity to begin with. And celebrities don't know anything about policies or politics. So,
Yeah, I would probably say there was a crack at Kamala's campaign because they tend to get all the celebrities to endorse her. And he's trying to make it clear that don't just vote for somebody because a celebrity that you like um, is endorsing them. And even with him there today, he's admitting that about himself too. He's saying he doesn't need my endorsement. He doesn't need another celebrity to say how great he is. And he doesn't even have to agree with everything that he says. See, that's one thing that you really will never hear from the celebrities that endorse the Democrats is they will act as though they agree with and believe everything that candidate has to say and that they're perfect and they're basically God. They're not, and they're lying to you. But the people who come to this rally, and again, kudos to Trump because he's allowing somebody who, everybody kind of understands that Trump has a bit of an ego, maybe, really does care about what people think and say about him. But it's quite humbling for him to be able to let Dr. Phil stand up there and say, I don't even agree with everything Trump says. You got to give Trump credit for that. He's allowing this to happen. The Democrats would never allow that. They would never let somebody be up on stage and say, I don't agree with everything they say, but vote for them. They tend to always say, oh, yeah, everything they're doing is perfect. I can't think of anything, that they're not doing right. It's a completely polar opposite from this event. This event is very open and free. You can tell that the speakers have the liberty to say what they truly believe, and they're not being persuaded to, say things a certain way or say certain things to satisfy Trump. They're speaking the truth. They're speaking their mind and what they truly feel. That's another thing I brought up before, that these people actually want to be here. You can tell that. In fact, it's hurting their reputation for them to be here. It's splitting their audience. But they don't care because they believe in America and that it's more important that we save this nation. You don't really see that on the other side. The people who go there, everybody kind of assumes and expects them to be there, and it doesn't really hurt them that much to be there. In fact, it would probably hurt them more to not be there. But yeah, let's continue to see what he has to say.
only difference between me and them is I'm willing to admit it. So, why am I here? Well, I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm here to talk to and stand up for the people who have declared their support for Donald J. Trump, or they got found out, or they want to do it, but they're too intimidated. Because you know what happens when somebody in this country says, hey, I'm going to vote Republican, I'm going to vote Donald J. Trump? They get canceled, intimidated, marginalized, excluded, or even fired or boycotted. And you know what that means? In short, that adds up to being bullied. And now we're talking about something I know a hell of a lot about. Now you're in my wheelhouse, buddy. I may not be an expert in politics, but I am an expert about bullying. And bullying is when you seek to harm somebody, you seek to intimidate, coerce, cause distress, fear, risk to their well-being. And it can be physical, verbal, relational, or cyberbullying. And it's always wrong. You said it, my friend. It is always wrong when you bully somebody. And that's what's going on. Now, let me tell you what the critics are going to say when they hear me talking about this. They're going to say, well, now, wait a minute. Come on. Isn't Trump a bully? And let me tell you why the answer to that question is no. Because to be a bully, there has to be an imbalance of power. And when there's not, it's just called a debate. And he's just better at it than anybody else. It's called debating. It's called arguing. It's just, they even name calling, but it's not bullying unless there's an imbalance of power. And whoever he talks to, they've got a microphone. They got on their big boy pants. They got a stage. They got everything else. He's just better at it. And the same thing is true. When the Democrats or Harris call him fascist, Hitler, racist, misogynist, or a crook, is that bullying? Well, not really. It's ugly. But with the First Amendment, which we all want to keep, there's no imbalance of power, so it's not bullying. It's just like what he does. It may not be the best use of energy, but when you attack civilians, when you attack a citizen, and you use the power of the internet, you use mob mentality, you incite people to gang up and cause boycotts, then it's beyond ugly. And that's what's happening in this country right now, and that's not okay.
And that's actually exactly what the Democrats do. They bully people into submission. They use socialistic tactics. That's why in a previous video I've talked about unions. That's exactly how unions got started. They would bully the company men, the people who ran the businesses that the employees worked for. They would bully them by congregating together and getting the people to turn on the company and make all kinds of demands. And in fact, that's a tactic that they still use today. All unions still use that today. They create leverage, and then they use that leverage to bully the company into submission, into giving them what they want. And obviously, it has to be within reason, because if the company can't do something, they won't do it. The people will have to either give in or quit, and then the company will have to find all new people or go under, whatever it is. But if they can do it, they're going to do it because they don't want to have their company tank. So this is what Democrats do all the time, and it's right out of the socialist playbook. They use these tactics to bully people. That's exactly part of the reason why America is a constitutional republic and not a democracy, which people constantly say, because a democracy is kind of run on mob rule, and that's what this whole situation is. You get the people to come together in mass and overthrow, or put pressure tactics on the authoritative figures, or whoever is in that position that they're trying to get something from, and they use those tactics to turn the tables and get them to do what they want. Now, the people, the employees who are formed together in a union, they become the boss, and the company works for them, and the tables turn. That's not how it's supposed to be. If you work at a company, you should negotiate your based on your work ethic. You should negotiate your own stuff with your own company. And if they don't want to give you what you want, there's plenty of other businesses in America. Just go to another one. But if you have leverage, and your leverage is that you work really hard, you're smart, you're great at your job, and you put in the extra effort, any company is going to want to keep you. They're going to want to give you what you want as best they can. If they can't do it, they can't do it. But if they can do something, they're probably going to do it more likely than let you go, because they don't want to lose such a good talent. The problem is they found a lot of these people in the unions were just, regular people going to work for a paycheck. They didn't really care about their job. They were just doing the bare minimum to get by. And they figured these people won't have individual leverage. So if we band them together, now they have leverage. That's exactly opposite of what should happen. What should happen is, if you're really great at what you do, you have leverage at your company. Go to your boss and ask for a little bit more. And if they can do it, they'll do it because they don't want to lose you. But to band together and force somebody to do something that they don't want to do or really can't do and is going to hurt them, That's bullying. That's a form of bullying, which is what Dr. Phil is saying. And that's exactly the same playbook that the Democrats live by. They bully people into submission. Look at how many people they got canceled over the years because they endorsed Trump and they backed him and they were against the Democrats. They basically come after you and say, you're either going to be with us or we're going to crush you. That's bullying. So from the people who always are like, calling Trump a bully, they are the bullies. The Democrat Party is the party of the bullies. And the Republican conservatives, they just tend to not be afraid of the bullies. So they'll go on living their lives. We're not, being beaten into submission. We stand up and continue to speak out against the stuff. But it does happen, and that's exactly what the Democrats do. They are involved in that. So what he's saying is so true. That Donald Trump is not the bully. The Democrats are.
There is an imbalance of power there, and it's time that every one of us close ranks. We have to stop this now. It's time that we push back against cancel culture. It's time that we push back against intimidation tactics. And that is exactly the reason that I launched Merit Street Media, which, by the way, we didn't choose the name for that by random. Merit Street Media. This country was built on hard work, added value, and talent, not on equal outcome, not on DEI. This country was built on hard work, and it needs to continue to be built on hard work.
Yeah, so that's so true what he's saying. We're not gonna watch the full video because I think the speech is about 20 minutes long. So we're not gonna watch the full thing. You can watch it online if you want, but what he's saying is so true, and that's why you see a lot of companies turning against this whole DEI stuff now. It's not about helping people who haven't had an opportunity and giving them an initial opportunity. That's not what that's about. That I'm completely for. I'm completely for that, and so is Donald Trump. Donald Trump was one of the first CEOs to, and presidents of his company, whatever title he had. He was one of the first ones in America to do things that a lot of, owners or presidents or whatever of companies were not doing at that time. You could even go back and look. He hired some of the first females to fill executive positions that had never been done before. Not just in New York, but I think in America. He also had a lot of minorities and put them in positions at his companies that they had never filled those roles before. No one had in those executive positions in New York and possibly nationwide. And he's done that in many other regards. He's also done it with Mar-a-Lago in Florida. He's allowed minorities, I believe it was blacks, Hispanics, and even Jews to become members and join Mar-a-Lago. And at the time, I think even his own guests were frustrated with that policy because they didn't want them there. But Trump saw past all that stuff. He saw that, no, everybody should have an opportunity to at least be given a chance. That is the American way. Truly, it is. Everybody who is an American has come here from another country and, helped found this land into what it is. So everybody deserves the same rights once you become a citizen, once you become an American legally. But, not everybody is going to have an equal outcome, which is really important that he said that, because that's what the DEI is. The DEI is trying to say everybody deserves to be equal across the board. Well, that's exactly what communism is. Again, like I said, the Democrats, they take things from the socialist and communist playbooks. It is exactly what communism teaches. Everybody is the same. They make the same money. They have the same type of lifestyle and the same rights, which is very few because the government basically runs everything. And then the government is your God overlord at the top. So it's basically all the peasants are one class. And then the government is the top class. And they're the ones that rule over you like slaves. So that's not the American way. And that's what DEI is, truly at its core. People won't they won't say that. They'll try and twist it and say that it's what I previously mentioned, that everybody deserves an initial opportunity, which is what America gives by default. Based on the Constitution, everybody does have the right to do all these things, including, and I've said this in previous videos, one of the things everybody has the right to do as an American, and it's in the Constitution, is the right to pursue happiness. Everybody who's an American has that right, no matter what your nationality, race, color, creed, whatever, no matter any of that stuff, your religious beliefs, um, you have the right to pursue happiness. You have the right to achieve the American dream in whatever way you see that dream in this country. So, just by default, being here in America, you already have that right that you do not get in other countries. America stands alone in that regard. It is truly still the freest nation in the world, even though there's a lot of corruption. It's the freest nation in the world still to this day, and in world history. Um, but also, um, the DEI stuff, it's actually quite the opposite now because they turned it. They said at first we wanted everybody to be, have a fair chance, and then we wanted everybody to be equal, which is not right. It's not the correct way. Not everybody's life is going to be the same. Everybody's journey is going to be different. Sometimes you're going to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You're going to come from a rich family and have a trust fund. And sometimes you're going to be born in a poor family living in a trailer park and have to work your way out. But either way, everybody has the same opportunities in this country. And odds are the person who came from a poor upbringing is going to do better in life than a person who came from a rich upbringing. A lot of rich people, they end up losing the money by 2 or 3 generations later, or they just live hellish lives. They're on drugs. They have all kinds of scandals. But if you're poor, you just have one issue, money. You have no money, but you can easily make money. These rich people, not all of them, but many, have a lot more issues because they are dealing with so many other struggles and sins that they are, being tempted by in life. So sometimes it's not always the worst thing in the world to be poor. You can work up from that. Money can be made. Um, but now it's switched to everybody, um, you know, uh, we need to flip it. The white people and the people who are in America now, they should get pushed down, and all the minorities and all the immigrants coming in, they should be put on top. That's an inversion, and that's actually horrible for the nation. And it's not the way it should be. Everybody has to climb the ladder to success on their own journey in the way that is fit for them. Not everything is going to be equal. In fact, nothing in life is really equal and not even fair sometimes. Sometimes that things happen and they don't seem fair, but God put that in your life because it's important for you to deal with that thing because it's going to benefit you in the long run. Not everybody needs that same issue, but other people have other issues. But everybody has things that they deal with and struggle with. So you're not alone in that sense. No one lives a perfect, happy life where nothing goes wrong. Everybody has issues, but there's ways to overcome them. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek on the rally. It was a huge, massive event. It might have been the biggest in Trump's history of doing rallies, campaign rallies, and it might have broken a record for one day at Madison Square Garden. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. There was a lot of major events that happened at Madison Square Garden over its existence, so I don't know for sure, but I would say if there's 200,000 people there in one day, not sold out shows 3, 4, 5 days in a row, and that totaled up to a big number in one day, it might have broken the record for Madison Square Garden. I don't know, but we'll look into it. But that's it for this video. Just wanted to talk a little bit about that event because I think it actually will go down as a notable point in American history, especially if Trump wins the election. This might be talked about in the history books as his biggest rally, his last big rally, and one of the ones that pushed him over the edge. And he said he was going after New York. Maybe this put New York in play for him. Maybe this rally, this event could possibly swing votes his way. Who knows? Maybe he wins New York. Maybe he doesn't. Reagan did in the 80s. So it is possible for a Republican to win New York. Let's see if it is again. But anyway, that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one. All right, everybody, just wanted to do a quick promo for my book. This is Little Boy Full of Love. That's me on the back. And this is a little sneak peek on the inside. So this is a great book. It's a children's book. I wrote it for my son, and it's a nice book that teaches a lot of wonderful life lessons. It's available right now on Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, Indigo, Bookshop.org, a lot of different online platforms. But more importantly to me, it's actually available in a lot of physical bookstores throughout the country. We're in about 15 or 16 different states right now. And you can find out which bookstore specifically the book is carried in or sold from their online store. On my Instagram page, I highly recommend you get it directly from a bookstore, because we love supporting small business in this country. And, this would be a great way to do that. There are not many bookstores left in this nation like there used to be back in the day, but there are still a lot that are still standing in many different states. So it's nice to support a small business and a bookstore. Books are great. They're important. We need to keep, reading alive in America, not just scrolling through social media and reading quick clips, but actually reading books. And, it starts with children reading children's books, physical copies in hand. So pick up the book at a bookstore that's on my Instagram page if it's near you. But if it's not, you can get it from our Amazon storefront, along with a lot of other products that we recommend on there that we use in our daily lives. We have them all categorized, organized by categories so that you can shop by which categories interest you, just buy something from there if there's something that you like or find interesting. But we do recommend everything that's on that store, and we're going to continue to add stuff as time goes on. Also, check out the apparel shop. You can see all these links in all the show notes for every episode. But you could also see it in my bio on Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram, and I think some other platforms. But check out all that stuff. Christmas is coming up, so it's definitely a great time to start getting your Christmas shopping done, or Hanukkah also coming up. So if you're looking for a good gift for somebody in your life, you could also buy it from the Amazon storefront and ship it directly to the person's house that you're gifting it to for the holidays. So if they're far, if you're not going to see them for the holiday, or if you want to, save time instead of having it shipped to you, you can ship it directly from the storefront to them. So check out the book, check out the Amazon storefront, check out the apparel shop, all that stuff, links, everything. And don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share all that stuff. It keeps the channel growing. And in the comment section, tell me different topics and things that you'd like to see videos on. And we'll do our best to, put that in some of the videos going forward. All right, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next one.